What's up, guys? Welcome back to Player vs. Podcast. I'm Rapid Reacts, also known as Daniel, and this is Esportscenter, also known as Dalton, and we're going to go over all the Game of the Year categories, going through all the nominations, and picking not only who we think will win, but who we want to win.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. All right, Dalton, your name's Esportscenter. It's in your handle, so I'm going to kick it off with the best esports event. The nominees are EVO 2022, 2022 League of Legends World Championship, PGL Major Antwerp 2022, the 2022 Mid-Season Invitational, and Valorant Champions 2022. And I think I know what you're going to say here.
Are we going off of what we would pick, or are we going off of what we think will win?
So let's do both. Let's have like what you think will win, and then your pick. And then once all the awards get announced and we get home from that trip, we'll decide a winner and go from there.
Okay. I think that League of Legends Worlds will win. It had a great storyline, great finals, crazy experience. But if I had to pick my favorite esport event from this year, it was Valorant Champions 2022.
That's the one I knew you were going to go with because you're just a mega Valorant fan.
Big time Valorant fan.
Honestly, that's the one I'm going for too. But League of Legends is going to win, right? That game is just massive. And I believe, I could be wrong, but like in previous Game Awards, League of Legends always wins like every single category. It's insane.
League of Legends has held strong for esports for quite a while. But Valorant is getting there. And again, both made by Riot. So it's a win-win for that.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Now we're going to move on to Best Esports Team. Now the nominees here are Dark Zero Esports, FaZe Clan, Gen G, LA Thieves, and Loud.
Yeah, another tough call. Each one of these teams you could make a case for, honestly. I would probably say, yeah, FaZe Clan CSGO win was really impressive. Obviously, again, you have the narrative with League of Legends for Gen G. Loud, the Valorant tournament is very difficult, and for Loud to go all the way and make that, also very impressive. LA Thieves, they were not supposed to win that. Very impressive. The only one that I don't see happening is probably the Apex Legends team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess my pick is going to be FaZe Clan for CSGO. But I think that Gen G will win for League of Legends.
So the one I think is going to win and my pick are the exact same. And I'm going to go with the LA Thieves. Only because they were the underdogs. People love voting for the underdogs. Nate Shot's on top of the world right now. We see him everywhere, all over TikTok, all over Twitter. So you got Nate Shot backing that. Underdog win. Like you said, they weren't supposed to win that. Totally think LA Thieves are going to get away with this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, when I factor in the difficulty of the tournament, not to say that CDL is an easy championship, but there are so many majors to get to that point versus, like, for example, League of Legends or Valorant. Or even CSGO, those are much harder divisions to win because you have so many more teams and so many more obstacles to go through.
Yeah, for sure. Now, next category, Best Esports Athlete.
Yes.
So the nominees are, and I'm going to pronounce his name wrong, Jong Chovy Jihoon.
Let's just go by their esport name.
Okay. Chovy, Faker, Kerrigan, Simple, or Ye.
I would like to see Chovy win. I would love to go into the whole storyline of what happened with the League of Legends Worlds. I'm not sure if you're aware of what happened, but amazing storyline between Faker and Chovy. We'll definitely go into that at some point, but I'm going to go Chovy. Ended up winning the League of Legends Worlds Championship. Wasn't necessarily, I would say, the best player on their team, but a very solid. Again, for me, it's all about story, and that's where I'm going Chovy. He won his championship. I could also see Ye, the best player in Valorant, who's not going to be playing for Cloud9.
Yeah, and that's segueing right into my pick, and who I think will win is also Ye. I think that him being on top of that Valorant mountain right now, and Valorant being such a massive game, I think he's going to come away with it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Ye will end up winning. Chovy is a solid choice. Again, we'll get my vote.
All right, next category, Best Esports Game. Now, this is going to be tough. So, the nominees here, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, League of Legends, Rocket League, and Valorant.
I think you can make a case for 3 of these games. CSGO, League of Legends, and Valorant. My personal pick would go to Valorant because I love that game. But ooh, it is tough. I think League of Legends will win again.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Again, Valorant will win this at some point because I think it will become the best esport in the world.
Yeah.
But for now, that remains League of Legends. CSGO is still very solid. I think that their game has been carried by esports at this point, and I love to see it because that's my favorite game of all time. But League of Legends will win this category.
Yeah, I agree. I love seeing CSGO here. It's every year it's nominated. The game has lasted forever, and rightfully so. But like you, I think League of Legends is going to win it. I personally want Valorant as well, but you know how it goes with the Game Awards and League of Legends, man. The game has a toxic community, but they come through and vote for it every single year. So,
oh, 100%. Now, I got the next one for you. You talk a lot about games coming. So you've got a big series for biggest games releasing in 2023. You did it for 2022. I want to get your pick for the most anticipated games this year.
One of my favorite categories.
You got Final Fantasy, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, or Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
All right, so the one I want to win and the one I think will win is Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, right? The Legend of Zelda always wins big, shows up big at every single Game Awards whenever there's a new game coming out. I expect the same here. I think he'll win. But the case could also be made because of how big Harry Potter is for Hogwarts Legacy, right? Resident Evil 4 remake, people are excited about. I don't think they're over the moon for because it's another remake. And Final Fantasy, you know, with the negative stuff that's been going on behind the scenes there, with the lack of diversity in the game and whatnot, I think that's gonna, you know, push people away from it. So I think it's really between Hogwarts Legacy and Legend of Zelda, and I think Legend of Zelda will come out on top. What about you?
That's interesting. My personal pick is Starfield. Very excited for Starfield.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people are gonna say it's a rebranded No Man's Sky. Don't care. Really looking forward to the game.
Yeah.
I think Hogwarts Legacy will be a lot of fun. I agree with you with Resident Evil and Final Fantasy. I think that The Legend of Zelda will win, but again, my pick is Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield is probably Xbox's biggest exclusive next year. So that one needs to deliver on the hype. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, yes. All
right. You're also a big movie head, so let's get your pick on the best adaptation. And your picks to choose between are Arcane, League of Legends, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, The Cuphead Show, Sonic Hedgehog 2, or Uncharted.
All right, so there's two clearly obvious choices here, right? And it's Arcane and it's Edgerunners.
Dweeb.
And and what?
Dweeb.
And I adored both. I loved both, but I think the one that was the better show of the two was Arcane. And it's crazy because I don't play League of Legends. Don't know anything about that series. I fell in love with this show. I can't wait for the second season. And Edgerunners is like right there neck and neck. But I think the one that will win and the one I picked to win is Arcane. What about you?
I agree that I think Arcane will win. I didn't watch Arcane, nor did I watch Cyberpunk. It's just not my style. I know. We've talked about this for quite a bit.
So you're going to go with Sonic the Hedgehog 2? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm going with Uncharted. I mean,
Uncharted.
Just because it's got Tom Holland in it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that Arcane's going to win. I know it.
If Uncharted wins this, it could be one of the biggest like upsets of this whole thing, right? Because like there's two clearly obvious picks, and Uncharted wasn't a bad film, wasn't the worst like movie video game adaptation, but it's certainly not. It doesn't even come close to those two. But you know, we'll see.
Next category is best debut indie game.
Cool.
You've got Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, or Vampire Survivors.
All right, so
is this even a question?
It's Tunic, right?
No, it's Stray, bro. If Stray is literally being nominated for Game of the Year, it's Stray, 100%.
The cat game that everybody hates on TikTok. I'm like, dude, I made that Game Awards video. You've seen it on my channel, and all the top comments are like, "What is Stray doing there?" You know what I mean? Dude, it's just like
slept on game. In my opinion, it could win Game of the Year if it wasn't within the stock lineup that we'll get to in a bit.
Yeah, it's Stray's incredible game. Those are clearly the top two. It's Stray. It's gonna be between Stray and Tunic. And you're right. I think Stray will win, but I want Tunic to win because Tunic is just like one of the best Zelda clones I've ever played, and it did something different from Zelda. It differentiated itself enough. So That's my pick for it. What about you?
Yeah, straight. Again, no question.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Here's the juicy one for you that we talked about a little bit before, but
Yeah.
Content Creator of the Year. The nominees are Carl Jacobs, Ludwig, Nibelian, Nobru, and Cutie Cinderella.
This list is disappointing, let me tell you. Where's XQC? Where's Kai Cenat? Where's even Abai?
Yeah. Where's even, I know it's controversial, but Speed. Like,
Yeah, Speed could be on here. Where's Aiden Ross?
It feels like if there's an ounce of controversy, you're excluded from the list. Like
100%.
they want purity, like just pure, like, you don't get much more family friendly than a lot of the people that are on this list, right?
Also,
It's just,
no Tommy in it. Dream isn't on here. I mean, Dream did have some controversy this year with his cheating stuff and everything like that, but
yeah. So it's odd to me, but I don't know. Who would you pick from this list? Which if you probably wouldn't pick anybody, honestly.
yeah, I mean, look, when I look at the list, I watch Ludwig's content out of this group the most.
Yeah.
I like Ludwig's content for sure, but he didn't do another subathon. He didn't do anything crazy within the streaming world. He made the switch to YouTube successfully and has been a good creator throughout.
Yep.
Nibelian stopped making content. He's no longer going to be making content for Twitter.
Yeah.
Carl Jacobs, great streamer, great personality for Mr. Beast content.
Yeah.
Don't really know much about Nobru. And Cutie Cinderella, I think, is the most questionable out of this list. No offense to her, but I think that there are other female creators that you could put ahead of her.
You could throw Pokimane in there. I know she's been nominated before, but it's just like she still gets bigger every year.
You could also throw like Valkyrie in there.
Yeah.
My pick is going to be Ludwig because I enjoy his content the most out of this lineup. But I think that there have been some massive snubs within this category.
So what do you think of the debate online for Nibelian? And now there's a lot of people who say he's not a content creator. He curates news. Like, what do you think about that perspective, that he shouldn't be on here because all he did was curate news, and this is kind of like a sympathy token, nomination?
There's Dexterdo.
Yeah.
And there's Nibel.
Yeah.
Dexterdo and Nibel both relay news. But the way that Nibel does it, again, people feel very connected to him. So he's a creator. Just like, that'd be like saying, like, you and I, we're not creators because we cover news.
Exactly.
No, that's like, you're still a content creator. You still captivate a massive audience and still have the same resources as these major companies, it seems like. But again, people like you because you're a personality. So I think Nibel deserves to be on here. It's sad to see him step away from content.
Yeah. But I get it, man. It's so hard to monetize in this industry, like me and you see it, and especially on Twitter when there's not a lot of options there, and you got to solely rely on Patreon, and he didn't get the support that he needed, and it wasn't worth it for him, and I completely understand that. I'm gonna miss him. We got most of our videos came from him, came from news he broke early in the morning. It's almost like he had inside sources because literally he would break this stuff the second it was announced. And it's
he 100% did. He was
like, what?
He was a leaker in a way with also news and some personality. Yeah. I could see him winning just for the fact that he's not going to be making content anymore, for sure.
Yeah. I could see that. It's just, I don't know, the casual people that are voting for this who might not know Nibelian, that's what I'm saying. And for me, my pick, if I had to go off this, I'm going to say Carl Jacobs. Right, he has that Mr. Beast connection, everything there. The only reason I wouldn't say Ludwig or especially Cutie Cinderella is because they're a couple, and I feel like they're going to split that vote, right? So that's my theory on that. I don't know who Nobru is. Sorry if I'm offending anybody. I don't know who that is. So it just leaves Carl Jacobs for me. Process of elimination.
Fair.
Next category. You're the multiplayer guy. I'm the single player guy. So best multiplayer, and here's the nominees. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, weird one, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I know it's multiplayer technically because it's co-op, but it's a little weird to be on this list. There's another category we'll get to later that's a little weird, and you'll see in a second.
Yeah, TMNT being on here is quite odd. I don't think there were enough solid multiplayer games to be able to include into this list, if that makes sense. I think my pick is also going to be the winner. It's going to be Call of Duty Modern. It's going to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, And I think it's pretty simple. That game is getting 2 years of dedicated content, despite you having to pay for it next year. It's still going to be supported. A lot of people are coming back to Call of Duty just for that game. I think that this will be the best Call of Duty we've seen since at least MW 2019, if not beyond that. Multiverse has only lasted a few months, unfortunately. Still a great game. Can't take anything away from it. Overwatch is just Overwatch 1.5, just a little bit of a reskin version. Not a big fan, even though Overwatch is making a comeback because of it. Splatoon 3, it's a good game, but how many people are playing this game?
Yeah.
To be honest. And again, TMNT I don't think belongs in this category, but hey, honorable mention, I guess.
This is a little bit tough for me, right? Because Call of Duty is notorious for not winning any awards every year, right? Sure. Because everybody views it as more, or at least the people voting view it as more Call of Duty. So I don't think it'd be Call of Duty. I honestly think it's between Multiverses and Overwatch 2. Now, Overwatch 1 won Game of the Year when it first launched, right? And while me and you hate the game, and there's a lot of people like us that don't like it and feel like it's a 1.5, there's a massive audience playing it, enjoying it, loving it. So I'm going to give it to Overwatch 2 here, but I want Multiverses to win because I did have a good time for that 2 months I was playing it, and I enjoyed making content for that game. So
yes,
that's my personal pick.
I will die on the hill that Overwatch 2 is not the answer.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's doing the job that Blizzard wants it to do because it's reviving Overwatch, but for how long? Is it going to be 2 years worth of people playing this game? I don't think so. Again, there's too much gaming competition out there, and I just Overwatch isn't it. There wasn't enough that's different. That sounds horrible because I just said that Call of Duty is going to be the multiplayer game of the year. It's not like they do a whole lot different each year. Yeah. But at least it's enough that we expect to be like, okay, we're getting a new game every single year. Yeah. Versus Overwatch 2 took, 4-6 years?
Yep. And see, I love Modern Warfare 2. We were playing it the other night. I had a blast with it. First Call of Duty I played since Modern Warfare, the last Modern Warfare. So had a really good time with it. I love it. I just because of history. History tells us Call of Duty never wins, and I'm just going off that. So.
That's fair.
Next category, you have more experience here too. I do play, occasionally some NBA 2K and FIFA, don't get me wrong, but I'll go ahead and read this one off. So, best sports and racing game. The nominees are F1 22, FIFA 23, NBA 2K 23, Gran Turismo 7, and Ollie Ollie World.
I haven't heard of Ollie Ollie World. I think it's a skateboarding game. Yes, it's a skateboarding game. I want F1 2022 to win. I think it's a lot of fun. I like it. I mean, surprisingly, I don't think it has the player base to win and get enough votes for. FIFA has a massive audience, but a lot of people are hating the game just because of the horrible things that EA has done. Yeah. So I don't see that winning. It will be the last year that EA and FIFA are partnered together. Gran Turismo was a little bit of a disappointment in my mind. I would still rather play Forza. So I'm gonna say I think 2K wins because a lot of people enjoyed that My Park experience, the My Player, the storyline of that a little bit more. But again, I want to see F1 22 win. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. To me, I feel like it's the battle of the predatory sports games, NBA 2K versus FIFA, right? And I feel like, you could give it to either one. I think it's going to be FIFA just because it's more global. And if the whole world is voting for these nominees, I can see it just simply outnumbering 2K. So who I want to win was NBA 2K23 because I actually had a good time with this year's iteration. Who I think will win will be FIFA.
Yeah, I like it. All right, you're the family man, so you'd probably know more about this with your daughter. Yeah. But I want to get your take on, actually, we've got the best family games. The nominees are Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Splatoon 3.
All right. So, I think, this is probably a bold claim, I think Kirby is finally going to get his flowers. I think Kirby is going to win this one.
No.
Yeah. It was actually a great Kirby game. It reviewed really well. I personally loved it, right? But, yeah, I don't know. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga had a lot of negativity around it. It died within a couple weeks of launch, even though there was a lot of hype beforehand for that game. Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope was also really great. I could see it going that way too. And Nintendo Switch Sports, kind of a step down from Wii Sports and all that. And then Splatoon 3, just don't think the fan base is there to vote for that one. So I think it's between Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope and Kirby and the Forgotten Land. And I wouldn't be mad if either one of those win. But I'm going to say Kirby and the Forgotten Land on this.
I highly disagree. I think Lego Star Wars runs away with this category.
It could. It could. It has Star Wars. It has Lego. People love those games.
I believe out of this list, that was probably the best-selling game on this list, right?
Yeah, because especially just for it being multi-platform, and then those Lego games just always do well.
I mean, I remember at the time of it launching, people were like, wow, this was great. Brings back so many memories. Like, it's not something that's meant to be played for a long time. Don't get me wrong. So I didn't expect to last more than even a month. But the fact that people were still raving about it and still talking about it 2-3 weeks later was quite surprising. So that's going to be my pick, and that's what I think will win.
Yeah.
Next up, best fighting game.
Now, this is the other one that was like, caught my eye, and you'll see why in the last nominee.
Okay. DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, The King of Fighters, Multiverses, or Sifu, right? Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Sifu.
Yes, Sifu.
Not a fighting game, by the way. It's a single player game that you fight guys in. This is another one where I felt like they ran out of nominees and we're just like, okay, just throw Sifu in there. So who I want to win, because you know my love of Sifu, is Sifu, but it wouldn't feel right if it won the fighting game category. Who I think will win, I think this is when Multiverses gets its due and gets its award. Yeah. So
I think it's the first time we've seen a game actually kind of compete for Super Smash Bros. Player base in a way. So I think Multiverses is a clear pick for this, for me and the winner.
Did a lot better than Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, I'll tell you that. And like,
absolutely.
And like, yeah, the game is dead, right? Even though there's still people playing it. But that doesn't take away from how great the game was. They did an awesome job with, from netcode to the characters in the game and the gameplay itself. It was fun. It was addictive. Like, yeah, it's dead now, but it was great.
I hate the stigma on dead game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nowadays, it's because there's so many games that you don't have enough time for all of them.
Exactly.
I will still go back and play Multiverses. I'm not going to lie. I still enjoy it.
I do too. I love it. It's like Rocket League. It's that game I go back every now and then and just play a little bit. You know,
that's
I'm like,
fair. I think Rocket League has a little bit more longevity, but I would agree that Multiverses is something you could revisit.
Definitely. You can read this one for me too.
Next up is best role-playing game. Your nominees are Elden Ring,
Some people say Live a Live.
Live a Live, Live Alive, Pokemon Legends, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Well, it's obviously Xenoblade Chronicles 3, right?
Stop.
I'm joking.
Stop.
It's Elden Ring.
Yes.
What? No other game in this category has a chance. It's Elden Ring. I'm like, it has to be 100%. That's my pick, and that's who's going to win.
I'm 100% with you. Elden Ring, I don't think any game has a shot. I don't think any other game has a shot.
Not even close. It's going to be like 90% voting for Elden Ring and 10% for everything else.
Yeah.
Maybe not even that. It might be even worse than that.
This next one I think also has a clear winner. Best Action and Adventure. A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. So it's pretty much all of the games that are nominated for Game of the Year except replace Elden Ring with Tunic.
Yeah. This one, God of War Ragnarok.
Easy.
Like, Horizon Forbidden West was a cool game, but, you know, it's not...
Any other year, Horizon Forbidden West wins this category.
And that's what I was going to say when we got to the Game of the Year awards. Like, had Horizon come out last year, that it would have easily won Game of the Year if you look at what came out last year. Like, landslide victory, but they didn't get it out last year, so now it's to compete with another first-party PlayStation game, and it's going to get dominated, sadly.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh. All right, let's see. The next category is Best Action Game. So the nominees here are Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and TMNT.
Solid lineup. This one will be a little bit closer in voting. I would like to vote for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 because that's the game I probably like most out of this lineup, but I think Bayonetta 3 wins.
Do you consider Modern Warfare 2 a action game, by the way?
In no way I consider it an action game. But again, out of this list, I enjoy that the most.
Some of these categories are just so weird to me. I'm like, that's a shooter. That's a
Yes.
whole different category. So
100%.
that's the only reason I wouldn't vote for it here. I love Sifu to death, so I'm gonna vote Sifu for this one.
Do you think Sifu wins?
I think Sifu wins just because Bayonetta's trapped on Switch, right? Sifu went to more platforms. People loved and adored that game when it came out. So I don't know. A lot of people hated that Bayonetta 3 ending too. I've seen that floating around on Twitter. I haven't personally beat the game. I don't know, but
But the amount of people that have played Bayonetta 3.
Yeah, I don't know. But those games never really sell well. They always sell like 1 million copies and that's about it, right?
Yeah, they've got a loyal fan base for sure.
Yeah. So if that loyal fan base is loyal enough, they could squeeze that win out. But I think it's going to go to Sifu.
Like I said, this category I think is going to be close.
Yeah.
But
for sure. All right. So next category, best VR AR game. The nominees here are After the Fall, Among Us VR, Bone Lab, Moss Book 2, and Red Matter 2.
I'm gonna go with Among Us VR. I was watching Among Us VR content the other day, and I was like, this is actually kind of interesting. Like, it's a new adaptation, or it's a new way to kind of play Among Us.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it. I think that out of the list, it probably will be the biggest game.
Yeah.
And have the most longevity. So I guess I'm gonna go with Among Us VR.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, I could see the case being made for Bone Lab, as you know, that game kind of went viral on TikTok, and I think it's from the guys who do Rocket Jump on YouTube. Like, this is their game. So they might have that going for them. So it could go either way, Bone Lab or Among Us. I think Among Us will win because of the name. So this is one of those categories that people jump on and are like, I haven't played any of these. I guess Among Us. You know, that's gonna be like one of those.
For sure. But I still think Among Us out of this list is the best.
Definitely.
Cool. The next one is innovation in accessibility, recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. Your nominees are As Dusk Falls, God of War Ragnarok, Return to Money Island, The Last of Us Part 1, and The Quarry.
Return to Money Island.
Another, again, I don't know where this comes from.
No, you said Return to Money. It's Return to Monkey Island.
Return to Monkey Island. Oh, my God.
All right. So there's two clear-cut games here that could be a winner, and it's the Sony games because they've done so much to drive accessibility in the industry. So it's going to be between The Last of Us Part 1 and God of War Ragnarok. Recency bias will tell me God of War Ragnarok, even though Last of Us Part 1 had way more features, but also Last of Us Part 1 is a remake. So because it's a remake, I don't think it's going to win it because of that as well. So I want Last of Us Part 1 to win, but I think God of War Ragnarok will win this one.
Well, I think that because most people won't read the category and what it's meant for, God of War will win.
Yeah.
But my pick is The Last of Us Part 1 because I think it did do the most to bring in a wider audience. It really pushed the envelope on improving those graphics, bringing that story out to the people that haven't played the game before, or even that have and just want to enjoy it again with better content.
It's one of those games like, even if you didn't play it, it was trending on Twitter a lot because of the accessibility and like what they did for that community, you know?
Yeah.
So respect it. I love what Sony's doing there. And, you know, Xbox is doing the same with their, you know, the controller, that weird looking controller, whatever. So
yes.
Yeah. As many people as we can get to play games, the better. I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, next category, best community support. The nominees are Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky.
For me, it's between two games, Apex Legends and Fortnite. And I believe it's this year. Yeah, it should be this year. This is the year that we saw no build come to Fortnite.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to make.
Revived Fortnite.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think that there's another game in here. I think in a way, like Apex Legends has kind of shot itself in the foot with the way that it's been trending. It's at an all-time low in players in quite a while.
Yeah.
It's struggling for a variety of reasons. It does get community support, but not in the way that the community wants it.
Yep.
Destiny fell off. Final Fantasy isn't the game for me. No Man's Sky is one of the games that I think just got thrown in here because. So I would say Fortnite.
So I believe Destiny's won this award in the past. They have been supporting their community. They still have a player base there. I don't play the game anymore, but you are absolutely right. I think it's going to be Fortnite, and my pick is Fortnite also, just because of zero build. It's something everybody was asking for forever, including myself. I hated the building of Fortnite. It drove me away from playing that game. And when they put zero build in there, instantly I was happy. I was like, yes, finally a mode for me, because I'm a scrub at building. So Fortnite is definitely going to take this one away, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Next category, best mobile game. Here's the nominees: Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, or Tower of Fantasy.
I would like to point out that Diablo Immortal does not deserve to be in here with the way that they have scammed their player base.
Very
With
true.
the microtransactions that they tried to impose. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Apex Legends is the only game on here that I can confidently say, yeah, that's the best mobile game this year. Because I think that Respawn did a really good job of taking their already massive game and putting it into a compact device where it's not losing a whole lot of features. It still feels like Apex. So I'm going Apex Legends Mobile.
Crazy, right? How like EA and Activision have kind of just switched places. Like EA used to be the scumbag with the microtransactions and all that, and
They
now
still are.
It still kind of are.
Kinda.
Like, you know, they're leaning more into single player games now with Star Wars coming out and the Marvel games and everything like that. So they're getting away from that spectrum, which is nice. But yeah, Activision has gone like, full crazy on this stuff. And the sooner Xbox acquires them, the better, just for that reason alone, because I don't think Xbox is going to pull that same stuff off.
No.
My pick and who I think is going to win, it's actually different here. My pick is Marvel Snap. Now, I'm not usually into major card games or anything like that, but this one has been reviewed well. There's a lot of positive buzz, and I'm having a blast playing it right now. I actually love the game a lot. So that's my personal pick. Who I think will win would be Apex Legends Mobile also. So
yeah, Marvel Snap isn't necessarily for me, but I could definitely see a player base for it. Genshin Impact is the only other game that I would vote for if Apex Legends Mobile wasn't on here.
Yeah, very true.
Next up, Best Indie Game. The nominees are Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic.
All right, so this is when Stray is going to get its award for me. So I think Stray will win Best Indie here, even though, of course, you know how much I love and adore Sifu. I want Sifu to win. Sifu's my pick, but Stray's going to run away with this one.
I think we're low-key sleeping on Tunic, but I agree. I think my pick and the winner will be Stray.
Well, I picked Tunic in, I forgot what category that was now. I think Best New Indie or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think, Tunic, I think, deserves it there. But Stray is a Game of the Year award nominee for a reason. And I think it's definitely not going to win Game of the Year. And I think where it's going to get its flowers is in this category. So
I agree. I like that pick.
Best Ongoing. So this is an award to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Isn't this very similar to the category we just read? Like,
these are the exact same nominees except for Genshin Impact for Best Ongoing, and Best Community Support are very similar.
yeah. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe we get rid of one of those. But the nominees anyway are Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact.
I think we're on the same page here. I think we both know who's going to win and who we would pick.
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Yeah, has to be.
Pretty easy.
Not even just for zero build mode, it's the collaborations. Every week there's a new collab. Like, and it's awesome. It's anime, it's Marvel, it's DC, it's Star Wars. Like, there's no limitations. There's always content being poured into this game. It has to win it.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
All right.
Next up is Games for Impact. Okay. And Memoir Blue, As Dusk Falls, Citizen Sleeper, Endling, Hindsight, and I Was a Teenager. I don't know any of these games, by the way.
Yeah, this is one that's like outside of my realm. I've only played As Dusk Falls, so I would just give it to that one just because it's the only one I played. I think it'll win here too because it's probably the most notable one. This is one of those categories people are going to go in and like, well, I don't know any of these. I guess, well, I've heard of As Dusk Falls and just click on that. So I'll give it to that one.
Cool. I'm going to have you do the next one as well. I don't know much about the performances as much as you probably do. Best performances. Okay, you've got Horizon Forbidden West, Ashley Birch, A Plague Tale Requiem, Charlotte McBurney, God of War Ragnarok, Christopher Judge, Immortality, Manon Gage, and God of War Ragnarok, Sunny Soljic.
Yeah, so this one, a lot of people don't know. God of War 2018 and Red Dead Redemption 2, when they were going head to head for not only Game of the Year, they were also going head to head for performances. And it was I'm blanking on his name, I apologize, the guy who played Arthur Morgan versus pretty much Christopher Judge. Those were the two notable ones. And the guy who played Arthur Morgan actually won it. So this is long overdue. Christopher Judge has been Kratos forever, right? He's a legend in the industry. It's his time. He's going to win it. I think he's going to win it, and this is my pick to win it. Christopher Judge is Kratos for God of War Ragnarok.
Cool. I agree with you because I don't know much about the category.
Best audio design. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, or Horizon Forbidden West.
I think that this one is closer between the big three, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, and Horizon Forbidden West. For audio design,
don't rule out Modern Warfare 2 because, they're always talking about their gun sounds and how epic they are every year, right?
I'm just so epic. So epic. I'm going God of War on this one. But I think you can make a case for Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring. I would vote for Horizon Forbidden West, but I think God of War will win.
Cool. So for me, this is a little bit tough. Yeah, I'm going to say audio design for God of War Ragnarok. Now, this is for those watching, not to be confused with score or music. This is a different category. This is like the sounds and stuff you hear in the game, right? So I think, God of War Ragnarok will probably take this one too.
Best score and music. Love that you bring that up next. We've got A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Metal, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
This one's going to be God of War Ragnarok easily. The music in this game tops the first one. It is incredible, gives you chills, really gets you into the moment. I don't think it's close. There's a lot of categories where Elden Ring and God of War are going head to head. For music, it's a landslide for me. It's Ragnarok all the way.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for A Plague Tale Requiem because they made a very solid game, but again are being put in every category with Elden Ring and God of War and don't really have a chance between the two. So for this one, I am also going God of War. I think that will be the game that wins, and that's my pick.
All right, next up. Now we're getting serious now. We're getting the nitty gritty.
Yes.
Best art direction. Okay,
Yes.
We got, again, a showdown between Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, the surprise here, and Stray.
I think that all these games have a case in a strange way. They're all very different,
Yeah. I could see Scorn now that I'm thinking about it. It has the whole gory element of it, and it did something really unique there.
Yeah.
Not enough to win.
For outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. I'm going to go Stray.
No, you're not. You're joking.
I'm going to go Stray. Because, again, I think that the game is very unique in its artistic style of telling a story. In what you play as, and the world that you get to experience. It was very visually appealing. It was very fun to play. I think Elden Ring will win this category, though.
Okay. I also think Elden Ring will win here. Now, the case could be made for God of War Ragnarok because of the Norse mythology stuff. And, I don't want to get into spoilers, but you see some really, really cool things and some magical things and some big things. So you could definitely make a case for that. But Elden Ring is just beautiful. From the very first trailer, every single trailer we've seen playing the game itself, the game is gorgeous. What it does with its colors and, just everything. So Elden Ring is my pick, and Elden Ring is going to win it, in my opinion.
Yes. Next up is Best Narrative. A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality.
So this one, I think, is easily going to go. I know you're like, easily, but God of War Ragnarok, right? And I'm going to tell you why. I love both games. Between that and Elden Ring, they're both masterpieces and 10 out of 10s, right? Elden Ring is not like a huge story game. It's lore. It's all about the lore. There's not a story being told to you from start to finish, right? And I think because of that, Ragnarok is gonna edge it out because the story in Ragnarok is just incredible. They've topped the first game in every single way.
Again, I think we're sleeping on Plague Tale Requiem. That's getting my vote for this one.
Oh,
96% positive ratings on that game. 9 out of 10 overall. And the story was great.
yeah.
But I think God of War will win this category. In my opinion, it would go, with my voting, it would go A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and then Elden Ring, and then Immortality.
And it's like, just to be clear, guys, we're not knocking on Elden Ring. It's just that's Dark Souls games, like that genre is they're not big on stories, they're big on lore, and that's different, right? The story's being told through the collectibles and the stuff you find in the world. It's not cutscene heavy and dialogue and all that kind of stuff like God of War is, and that's why I think it will win, not because one game is better than the other.
Well, yeah, I mean, best narrative, like you were literally watching a movie when you watched God of War Ragnarok. So again, that's why I think it will win. But I'm going to throw my vote out there for A Plague Tale Requiem.
Cool. All right, so tough one, right? We're down to the top two here. Best game direction: Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray.
Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in in-game direction and design.
Think of this as like a best director for a movie, like that thing, you know?
Yeah, but it's, I guess, yeah. I'm gonna say Stray again. That's my
Whoa! Pick. Oh my God! What?
God of War will win this category, though.
Yeah, I think this is also. I think this is also going to God of War Ragnarok. I feel like God of War Ragnarok is gonna like sweep pretty much almost every single category it's in.
Did you play Stray?
I did. It's
so
great.
You know what I'm talking about.
It's okay.
No, don't say okay. It is nominated for Game of the Year, and so many of these categories, along with God of War, Elden Ring, and Horizon Forbidden West.
If Stray came out last year, would it win Game of the Year?
Yeah, I would say so. I think as a surprise, like that game wasn't supposed to be in these categories pre-launch.
Yeah, pre-launch, maybe best indie, you know, like
absolutely.
That'd be pretty much it. So the fact that it's even nominated, I know a lot of people are gonna poo-poo in the comments about it. It is a great game, right? Don't get me wrong, it's a great game. But for game direction, for me, in my head, I tie this with like story direction too, right? And again, we get to the whole thing about story and the lack of story in Elden Ring games and all that. So for me, God of War Ragnarok takes this one as well.
Yeah, again, there's a very big difference of who I think is going to win and who I would like to see win. Yeah. I would like to see Stray, but again, God of War is running away with most of these categories.
Yeah. Okay. Dalton, the biggest category of the show, Game of the Year. This is the big one, okay? Some surprising nominations here. I'm going to read them off for you. A Plague Tale Requiem. I don't know how to say Requiem. I know. Elden Ring. God of War Ragnarok. Horizon Forbidden West. Stray. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3. What the
Hey. They had to throw another one in there, you know.
They had a bunch of other, like, they could have done Immortality from the last category. That's besides the point. Go ahead. This is tough.
I know who's going to win. But for me, Elden Ring is Game of the Year. I think that all around, it was a spectacular game. The difficulty was great. I mean, I understand that it's not going to be super easy for a casual gamer just to pick up.
Yeah.
But it is so creative and so visually appealing all the way around. Don't get me wrong. God of War will win this category because of recency bias, in my opinion. I love the game. God of War looks amazing. It's got a great storyline. But for me, it's splitting hairs here. And for me, I'm going to lean towards Elden Ring. I think it's the unpopular opinion here as well. I think you're going to see a lot of people really kind of shit on Elden Ring because they're like, okay, God of War came out within the last few months or within the last month in general.
Last few weeks, I think, honestly, by the time we get to the Game Awards.
Yeah. even last few weeks. That recency bias will hit for a lot of these voters. And they, don't get me wrong, Sony knows how to do that. Like, that has been their strategy for a long time now. We had a similar debate when the God of War 2018 released against Red Dead Redemption 2, another great title. Red Dead Redemption 2 was released around the same time, though, as, like, the Game Awards that year.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Elden Ring is my game of the year.
So there's a lot of points and arguments to be made here. And I don't think it's an unpopular opinion about Elden Ring. I think this is really the most divisive vote in the entire show. I think this really is split 51% to 49. I think that's how it's going to come down to. And yes, you can make the argument for recency bias, but, you know, I think Red Dead Redemption 2 came out right before the Game Awards of 2018, and God of War still won. So that might not be as big of a factor as we think it is. And man, it's tough. Like, I even said on my review, when people asked me which one I thought was better, because I love both games. I said, give me a couple weeks. I need to simmer on it. I need to think on it because I don't want recency bias to affect my vote. I've beaten this game a few weeks ago now. I have had time to think with it. And as much as I love both games, I'm going to say God of War Ragnarok is going to win this. I'm going to say God of War Ragnarok is and deserves to be game of the year. Now, Elden Ring is very, very special. It's a very special game. It's a one-of-a-kind game. It's a top 5 game of all time. One of my top 5 games for sure. But I don't know. But then again, you can make the argument Elden Ring is on more platforms. God of War is just on PlayStation.
That's a big thing for me. I know that that's not factored into these decisions at all. But platform availability, I think, is very important when it comes to Game of the Year. How many people can access your game and play this beautiful title that you have? Yeah.
Then again, then you have the other side of the coin there where it's like PlayStation exclusives win Game of the Year all the time. Last of Us 1, Last of Us 2. The list goes on and on. Like, those are always just tied to one console and they manage to win. So it could go either way. It's literally a flip of the coin. Let us know in the comments down below. What is your Game of the Year? Elden Ring or God of War Ragnarok? Or if you're like this crazy guy, Stray.
I didn't say Stray was my game of the year.
Kidding.
Stray was a great game that deserves some awards, so that's why I'm voting for it. But I know God of War will win most of those.
But I think we could all agree that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 does not deserve to be on this list, and I don't know what the hell they're thinking.
I think we could go through every category again and be like, that game doesn't... There's at least one game in each category that you're like, why is this in here?
Yeah, it's wild, dude.
Yes. Again, I think the biggest snubs from this year are the big three: A Plague Tale, Requiem, Horizon Forbidden West, and Stray. Three games that I think, look, if God of War and Elden Ring don't come out this year, and let's say they both got pushed into 2023, we're having a real debate of like, dang, all three of those games are great. You got a game that came out of nowhere in Stray. You got Horizon Forbidden West that is way better than it should have been, and A Plague Tale Requiem that probably would win Game of the Year most years.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, you could say Horizon, Stray, and Plague Tale could have won if they came out last year, maybe even the year before. I can't even remember what one Game of the year before. But like, yeah, like during those COVID years, if one of these games would have hit that, oh, Game of the Year instantly. But now you're going up against the big dogs of God of War and Elden Ring. No chance. There's no chance. So,
you want to do a little bet?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know what you got to pick the punishment though. You got to find the punishment for us, or maybe we'll let the comment section decide the punishment. I don't know.
Cool.
We're gonna go back and forth, and we're gonna draft a few of these games. Let's call it. We're gonna draft 5 games going back and forth, and whoever has the most total awards wins, and the loser has to do the punishment.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, we're flipping a coin to see who goes first because the number one pick is going to be easy. Heads or tails? I'll let you call it.
Tails.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Tails, you get to go first.
God of War Ragnarok, easy.
I'm going with Elden Ring and Stray.
Interesting. All right, my next 2, Fortnite and Sifu.
Fortnite was my next one. If I pick Apex Legends, can I also have Apex and Apex Mobile?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do Apex Legends and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Ooh. The rest of these games are like they're probably going to win one reward and that's it.
Yeah.
But there is one that could win at least 2, or I think at most 2. You're gonna call me crazy. Multiverses.
That was gonna be my 5th pick. That's very solid. That's very solid.
Yeah.
All right, what's your last one?
Last one is, let's see. It kind of contradicts one of my other picks. Sifu would be Tunic. So
Okay.
kind of going either way.
My final pick. I don't think we picked. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Horizon Forbidden West.
No, we didn't.
No,
But-
I think that, again, I think it'll be a snub, similar to Plague Tale Requiem. But
Yeah.
if it squeaks out one of these wins, or a couple, I think I
Yeah.
got it.
I mean, it could win because a lot of people praised it for this too. The best sound design. It could win that over God of War, and I think Elden Ring is also in there too. So it's not crazy. Not a crazy pick. I actually wish I picked that over Tunic. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting draft.
Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.